In the previous video, we looked at some very important key points in simple AC circuits that you need to know for your examination. So we are going to continue from there. In this video, we will look at the concept of resonance. Okay, resonance is also a very common concept that is tested in your exams. And in an RLC circuit, where does resonance occur? Resonance occurs when the capacitive inductance equals the capacitive uh, um, the capacitive reactance, rather the capacitive reactance equals the inductive reactance. That is XL equals to XC. XL is your capacitive is your reactive um, re- uh, is your inductive reactance, while XC is your capacitive reactance. So take note of that. So at that case, at resonance, XL equals to XC. Okay, so in that case, we say the impedance is minimum. I'm going to explain what that means in a moment. Okay, then current is maximum. Of course, when the impedance is minimum, current is going to be maximum, and your power factor is equals to 1. Okay, I'm going to explain these 3 points in details. First, why is our impedance minimum? Okay, so this is a concept that you must understand. Why is the impedance said to be minimum? You recall that in the previous video, we derived that Z is equals to the square root of R squared plus XL minus XC squared. Okay, and now we are learning that at resonance, XL equals to XC. So if XL is equals to XC, it means this part is going to be 0. Okay, so it means our Z will reduce to the square root of R squared. Okay, which will just simply give us R, meaning the opposition due to inductor and inductance, the capacitor and the inductor has reduced to 0. And because of that, it means our Z is going to be the minimum value. That's the smallest value we can have in an RLC circuit, where R has a value, C has a value, um, and L also has a value. But the opposition due to capacitance and due to the capacitor and the inductor have cancelled out. They cancel out at resonance. So Z is going to have its minimum value. At every other case when they are not equal, then Z cannot be at minimum. At minimum, our XL minus XC is 0. Okay. So another case, remember that I is equals to, or remember that V, let's put it this way first. V is equals to Iz. V is equals to Iz. Okay. So at this case, we have I is equals to V over Z. So at the time where Z has its minimum value, when Z has its minimum value, that is if Z is at its minimum, then this I will be at this one as its maximum. So at resonance, impedance is minimum, current is maximum. Okay, and remember that we also say that the power factor is cos theta or cos phi as our power factor, where theta or phi is the angle, is the phase angle. Okay, and to recall, we say that tan of phi or tan of theta, depending on what you are using, okay, is equals to XL minus XC over R. So in a situation where XL minus XC is 0, is when XL and XC are equal, means this numerator is going to be 0. Then you get your tan theta or tan phi to be 0. Okay, so at that case, you see that your phi will also be 0. Okay, so if your phi is 0, then the formula for your power factor, our power factor is cos theta, which is or cos phi. and that's cos 1. And if you do cos 1, you're going to get, and cos 0, sorry, if you do cos 0, you're going to get 1. So the power factor at resonance is 1, the current is maximum, and the impedance is minimum. Also, at resonance frequency, f naught is equals to 1 over 2 pi root LC. Why is that? Okay, very simple. Because we recall that at resonance, XL is equals to what? XC. And our XL is known as 2 pi FL. Okay, and our XC is 1 over 2 pi uh, FC, which can also be rewritten as what? 2 pi F is omega, that's omega L equals to 1 over omega C. Right? You can write it like this. And from here, we can decide to make omega the subject of the formula. If you cross multiply, you're going to have omega squared LC is equals to 1. Or you say omega squared is equals to 1 over LC. So where omega is equals to, you take the square root of both sides, you get the square root of 1 over LC. And the square root of 1 over LC is the same thing as 1 over square root of LC. Because square root of 1 is, square root of 1 is 1, and square root of LC gives us square root of LC. Okay? Now, since omega is equals to 2 pi f, so we have 2 pi f is equals to 1 over square root of LC. Dividing both sides by 2 pi, you have your f to be 1 all over 2 pi square root of LC. Okay, this f is f resonance. You can call it fr, like you can just call it f naught to differentiate it from every other frequency. So that's how we come about this differentiation. So in this case, our resonance frequency is denoted as f naught, which is equals to 1 over 2 pi square root of LC. So when you are asked to calculate resonance at the resonant frequency or frequency at resonance, say 1 over 2 pi square root of LC, where L is the inductance in Henry and C is the capacitance in Farad. Okay, so if you plot a graph of um, I against frequency, you're going to see, you're going to get a point, the peak point here. That peak point, that's the maximum, that's where the current is maximum. Okay, we said that the peak value here is going to be where the current is maximum. Okay, and at that point where the current is maximum, that's where we get our what? Resonance frequency. Okay, at every other case, the current is not maximum. Okay, the current will have a value but not the maximum value. So in a case where like this ascending part of the graph, it occurs when xc is greater than xl. Okay, and at this other side, the right hand side here, it occurs where xl is greater than what? Is greater than xc. So take note of that difference and take note of the graph. Okay, so other important, like if you are asked to calculate instantaneous power um in an AC, so we have power. Instantaneous power is VI. Okay, while average power is VI cos phi, where phi is your phase angle. Or you can just say your cos phi is your power factor. Okay, so it's very very important to take note of all these formulas. Okay, and now another important point that we just need to add to wrap up this particular video before we move to calculations is to convert an alternating current generator into a DC current generator. A slip ring or the slip rings are replaced with split ring commutator. So take note of that. So if you want to convert your alternating generator to a direct current generator, replace the what? Slip rings with what? With a split ring commutator. Okay? So a rectifier is also used to convert AC to what? To DC. So take note of all these key points that we have discussed. So now we have looked at all the overview of the key concept that you need to know for AC circuit. So the next is we need to now apply all these formulas in solving problems. So in the next video, that is what we are going to do. So make sure you have subscribed. If you have not subscribed, make sure you have subscribed, and please like this video, share with your colleagues that are also preparing for the exam. Okay, and if there is any other topic apart from AC circuit, make sure you drop it in the comment section so that I can attend to them. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.